Hello everyone. Welcome to iExamB. Embrace the iExamB learning experience by preparing 50% faster. The PNB, Punjab National Bank notification for specialist officers is out, and in this video we are going to talk about the credit officer scale 1 credit officer vacancies, the 250 vacancies that have come this year. The application window has just opened yesterday on the 3rd of March and will remain open till the 24th of March. The exam is likely to happen in the month of April or May 2025. In this video, we are going to focus on professional knowledge. Why? Because professional knowledge is one of the most important and the highest weight carrying aspect for your overall selection. In the written exam, it has 50% weightage, and it will also be very useful in your next stage, which is the interview stage. What is actually the syllabus? The notification does not provide a syllabus for the professional knowledge. However, there is a syllabus that you must have been wondering about what you should be studying, what area you should focus on more. There can be various topics that you may be finding useful to study, right? So based on the trend of the past year questions, the job profile, what you are expected to know, a very concrete syllabus, I will narrow down and discuss with you what you should focus on and give more weightage to. Right, so stay till the end. As I discussed, I will discuss the job profile based on which what your professional knowledge should be like, and even the past year questions trend, so that you know the importance of different topics from the syllabus itself. I will also share the cutoff that will help you give a benchmark that you need to cross for being in the final list. If you have any queries in relation to the dates, the salary, the eligibility for this particular exam, and previous year trends, you can watch our video on this topic by Kailash sir on our YouTube channel. We'll add the link in the description box also. So to start with, again, to give a perspective about the exam pattern, the exam will be a single written exam of 2 hours, 120 minutes. However, it will consist of 2 parts. Your part 1 will be testing your aptitude subjects of reasoning, English and quantitative aptitude, totaling 100 marks, and the next part will be professional knowledge, which will be another 100 marks. So which I said, there is a 50% weightage directly to the professional knowledge. Why it is even more important is your professional part 2 will be checked only if you clear all the papers in part 1, right? So there's a single paper, time is same, but you will have to clear certain minimum cutoff for each of the subjects, so that your professional knowledge paper is also checked, and there is a negative 1/4 marks which will be assigned to all. So here you can see this is 1 mark each, so these questions are 1 mark each, and the negative will be of 1/4 mark, while this here is of 2 marks each, and therefore your negative will be here of 0.5 marks. So that's your exam pattern. Moving to understanding what the job profile is. Now you may say, why do I need to understand? Let me first become an officer and I will be trained for that. Now this is important because if you understand each aspect of it, you will be able to prepare your syllabus holistically in that sense. This is the indicative job roles that have been mentioned in the notification, that you can be working in any of the credit verticals, in the corporate branches, even in the trade finance centers or the finance division, or in the corporate credit division or the MSME or MCC division. MCC is your mid-corporate, so closer to MSMEs, right? So any of the corporate, mid-corporate, MSME segments, or the trade finance. Trade finance is like your letter of credits, right? And then you could be in any of the credit verticals. So what do we mean by credit verticals, right? So that's why it's important to understand the entire roadmap, how the credit officer really works, or how the credit department works. So when we're talking about credit, it first starts with bank credit. What is bank credit, right? Credit is simply loans and advances that the bank gives, right? So what are the different loans and advances that the bank can give, and to whom can it give? The different types of borrowers, because of which you will be into different aspects like MCC or MSME or corporate or trade finance or maybe agri-based products, right? Or retail-based products, right? So who can be the borrowers and what are the types of loans and advances, right? So that's understanding the bank credit. Then is once you decide to give, that's what a bank's job is, to give bank credit, to give loans, right? Then to whom to give, you will have to, whether to the decision of giving the loan or not will depend on the credit analysis. So that's another segment, analyzing whether to give the loan or not, and then is arriving at that credit decision. Okay, so once you analyze, based on that analysis, you take the decision of whether to go ahead or not. If you go ahead, you will do the documentation part and disburse the loan, that is actually give out the money, right? And once you are giving out the money, you have to do the risk management. That means you have to ensure that the loan comes back. आपने जो पैसा दिया है वो बैंक को वापस भी चाहिए, उस पे इंटरेस्ट भी चाहिए, राइट? तो आपको उसका लॉस नहीं करना है. तो रिस्क मैनेजमेंट इज टू एंश्योर कि आप, मतलब बैंक ने जो लोन दिया है वो पैसा वापस आए, इट डज नॉट बिकम एन एनपीए, इट डज नॉट गो बैड. देयरफॉर आप सिर्फ डिसबर्समेंट करने के बाद उसको भूल नहीं सकते हैं, आपको उसको रेगुलरली मॉनिटर करना पड़ता है टू मैनेज द रिस्क, राइट? एंड लास्ट इज, इन केस आपका लोन बैड हो जाता है तो आप उसको कैसे रिकवर करेंगे या आप कैसे उसकी रिकवरी के लिए वर्क करेंगे, राइट? सो दीज कैन बी ब्रॉडली द डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स or the entire cycle of the credit officer's work or different credit verticals. And when you are studying around this, in sub-domains में कहीं ना कहीं आपके कुछ ना कुछ aspects RBI guidelines and regulations से linked रहते हैं. So RBI would be giving you guidelines, regulations, directions to work in all these verticals to ensure the smooth functioning of a credit department of a particular bank, right? So that is how you have to visualize your job, and if you can visualize, that's exactly how you'll be able to understand the importance of the syllabus, right? So bank credit समझने के लिए बेसिकली आप सिलेबस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से क्या पढ़ेंगे? आप पढ़ेंगे डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ लोन्स, राइट? एंड द डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ बोरोवर्स. रिटेल बोरोवर किसको बोलते हैं, एमएसएमई बोरोवर किसको बोलते हैं, कॉर्पोरेट बोरोवर किसको बोलते हैं, राइट? एंड व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ लोन्स यू कैन गिव टू देम. ओके, सो से फॉर एग्जांपल आप क्रेडिट कार्ड दे सकते हैं, आप हाउसिंग लोन दे सकते हैं, आप एक माइक्रो फाइनेंस लोन दे सकते हैं, आप एक गोल्ड लोन दे सकते हैं, आप एक कॉर्पोरेट लोन दे सकते हैं, आप एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लोन दे सकते हैं, राइट? सो देयर आर वेराइटी ऑफ लोन्स दैट यू कैन गिव, एंड वो लोन्स के भी डिफरेंट फॉर्मेट्स हो सकते हैं, राइट? इट कुड बी अ लॉन्ग टर्म, इट कुड बी अ शॉर्ट टर्म, इट कुड बी फॉर वर्किंग कैपिटल, इट कुड बी फॉर अ प्रोजेक्ट, इट कुड बी फंड बेस्ड, इट कुड बी नॉन फंड बेस्ड. सो बेसिकली डोंट गेट वरीड if I am speaking a lot of terms. बेसिकली आपको ये समझना है कि कितने तरीके के लोन्स हो सकते हैं, उन सब का मतलब क्या होता है, एंड कौन कौन बोरोवर्स हो सकते हैं. सो से फॉर एग्जांपल बोरोवर्स के ऊपर क्या क्वेश्चन हो सकता है. वेरी रिसेंटली अगर आपने बजट देखा है, राइट, इफ यू सीन द बजट, राइट, अभी इट इज प्रपोज कि एमएसएमई की डेफिनेशन चेंज की जाएगी. ओके, सो वी विल इंक्रीज द स्कोप ऑफ एन एमएसएमई, right? So maybe you are asked, as per the new definition proposed in the budget, who is a micro enterprise? That could be a question, right? So for me, why don't you write in the comments box, as per the new guidelines under the budget, what is the new definition for MSMEs? Please write in the comments. Okay, what is the new definition for MSMEs, right? So that can be a very valid question for you in this exam also. PSL, प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट होता है लेंडिंग का, गिविंग क्रेडिट. दीज आर डायरेक्ट guidelines and rules given by RBI, which every bank has to follow. Okay, so you have to know in detail what are the priority sector guidelines. Now there is also digital lending that is happening. So what are the rules and regulations? What do we mean by digital lending? What are the guidelines around it is what you should also be reading about. And then various lending that happens under various schemes. Now this is very, very important. I will show you some of the trends going forward. There is a good number of questions in the past 2 years that have come from different types of schemes, right? Say for example Mudra scheme. Okay, again this year Mudra scheme में भी changes हुए हैं. There is one more category that has been added. Okay, that is Tarun Plus. Right, so ये सब आपको awareness होनी चाहिए. There's a very high probability they ask you what is the limit under Tarun Plus now. Okay, so Mudra schemes में, okay, then there is credit guarantee schemes, then there is more such schemes like Vishwakarma scheme, Swanidhi scheme, which has been in the past. So पिछले 2 साल में Swanidhi scheme के ऊपर questions दोनों साल में पूछे गए हैं, मुद्रा स्कीम के ऊपर भी दोनों साल में पूछे गए हैं, right? So that is why different schemes under which credit is given or any benefit is given to different kind of borrowers, specifically agri MSME borrowers, that you have to keep in mind. So say for example this year MSMEs के लिए credit card on the lines of Kisan credit card KCC, similar kind of a concept is being brought in for the MSMEs. Okay, so this is what I mean by different schemes. It's not that आपको एक scheme याद करनी है, but whatever is related to credit, those kind of schemes you should be aware about. Next is your credit analysis. Now credit analysis में सबसे biggest aspect आपका आता है financial analysis. Okay, that means understanding financial statements, balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow, fund flow statement. Okay, fund flow statement काफ़ी important होती है, especially working capital limits के लिए, right? So when you're making a CMA, आपका उसमें बहुत important part होता है understanding different ratios, right? So that is very, very important. So that is one big chunk of your credit analysis. Just pay again, in the past good number of questions have been asked. Apart from that, credit appraisal, what else apart from financial analysis, what else will go into a credit appraisal? Related to business, related to management, how do you write your credit appraisal report or memo? What goes into it, right? KYC rules. Okay, KYC rules होते हैं so that KYC check can be done for a borrower. Okay, so there are certain rules also that RBI has stated related to KYC, so you should be aware about those. What is credit rating? What are the regulations around it? What is credit score? What are the regulations around it? That's why I have kept RBI regulations and guidelines as a umbrella over all the parts. Okay, so this has to be understood in context with the concept plus what has the regulator saying about it. So that is your credit analysis. Next is when you are taking the credit decision. Okay, so what are your credit limits? Okay, there can be certain upper limits. कितना आप collateral free loan दे सकते हो, कितना नहीं दे सकते हो, कितना exposure हो सकता है, कितना exposure नहीं हो सकता है, and then guidelines related to interest rate. For example, external benchmark rate has to be used for which kind of loans, okay, and all the relation into what is an external benchmark and all those type of questions can be asked. Once you are looking to disburse, then what is the documentation that has to be done, what kind of security or collateral you are taking, and what kind of charges have to be created. Right, so whether there is a lien mark being created, whether there's an assignment, whether there is hypothecation that is being taken care of, what is the type of charge? Is it a pari passu charge or exclusive charge over the collateral, right? So those kind of terminologies is what you have to prepare for, and this should be the part of your syllabus. Moving to the risk management part and monitoring. The IRAC norms, that is income recognition and asset classification and provisioning norms, are one of the most important parts over here. This basically, अगर मैं शॉर्ट में बोलूँ तो ये आपके सारे रूल्स रिलेटेड टू एनपी एंड प्रोविजनिंग आपको बताता है. सो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रूल्स. Then LEF, that is the large exposure framework. How much are your limits banks have to take in terms of the exposure? What are the different types of risks? But यहाँ पे आपका major focus credit risk पे रहेगा. There is an expected credit loss framework that was introduced by RBI in relation to the banks. So understand that. What do we mean by that? Because this is related to NPA and your Basel norms. What do the Basel norms say in relation to risk management? And last and not the least is your recovery part, which talks about the syllabus related to what happens if your loans go bad, right? Either you can sell it, okay, and securitize them, which becomes a part of the ARC, that is Asset Reconstruction Company, or what are the ways to recover them with the help of certain rules and regulations like your IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, or the SURFACI Act. You can of course also include the DRT over here, but most important from the bank's point of view are IBC and SURFACI, right? And beyond this, because you are going to appear for a bank exam, you should have certain knowledge generally about the banking and the financial system. What does that include? In your general banking, you can study about the banking system. That means the various type of banks, what are AIFIs, what are different payment banks, small finance bank, regional rural bank, right? Public sector banks. So certain information related to the banking system, banking terminologies and monetary policy related terms like what is the meaning of a repo rate, what do we mean by a reverse repo rate, right? What do we mean by, say, a standing facility, deposit facility, right? So all these terminologies you should be aware about. Money market, yes, money market is another way of raising short-term money. So you should be aware about simple terminologies, again, instruments that are used, like what is a CP, commercial paper, what is a COD, which is a certificate of deposit, right? So simple terms like these is what you should be preparing about. And similarly, even other long-term money raising instruments like features and meaning of equity, bonds, debentures, what is the difference between them, right? What category do they fall in terms of raising money, right? And then simple concepts, financial management concepts of time value, capital budgeting, NPV, IRR, what is leverage, what is operating leverage, what is financial leverage, simple costing terms like, you know, what is prime cost, what is an imputed cost, what is an opportunity cost, right? So simple generic understanding which you otherwise would have studied either in your MBA or any of your professional qualifications of CA, CFA or ICWA as are mentioned in the eligibility, right? Now this is general banking. Now I told you so many topics, but how should you focus on in terms of the weightage? So that's where your past year papers come into place. I will do separate sessions to actually discuss the actual questions that have come in the past 2 years. So I have looked at 2024 and 2023. And if I look at that, there has been the highest weightage from the bank credit. That means different conceptual understanding of different types of loans and borrowers and scheme based credit also, right? That's why there's such a large number of 14 and 12 questions out of the total 50 questions that have come in each of the year. Next most important topic is your credit analysis. Again, a very, very good weightage. 10 questions in 2024 and 14 questions in 2023. In 2024, they were mostly around financial statements, conceptual questions related to ratios, understanding of ratios, less of calculation. However, in 2023, these questions were mostly numerical. Right, last year they were very, very less numerical. This in 2023 they were more focused on numerical, so this can be there. And this was not just numerical, there were questions from credit rating, credit scores also that came in 2023. But what I'm trying to tell you is bank credit and credit analysis are very, very important topics. Overall they have a higher weightage. Then next is your credit decision. In 2024 they had a good weightage as compared to 2023. Disbursement related questions over, average. But risk management and monitoring, that means your NPA related and your risk management related questions were very high in 2023. These were mostly focusing on IRAC norms, mostly, right? Last year there was relatively less importance on that. And when talking about recovery, different acts, 3 questions were asked in 2024 and 1 question was asked in 2023, right? You will notice that the breakup for 2023 is a full 50 questions. However, for 24, it is around 42 questions. So we did not have a complete list, but this is majorly what they were focusing around. And general banking questions was 6 each in both the years, right? So with this, you have to understand that you have to put a larger part of your energy in understanding the bank credit in addition to all the rules and guidelines related to both these topics. And another very, very important topic for you will be the risk management part, right? We have seen alternating years with weightage increasing and decreasing for this particular topic here, right? So we have to give that due importance. This will help you, divide your time well amongst the topics rather than blindly following any particular topic in this, right? You can see the actual questions from 2023 and 24. Both the PDF are available. You will find the link in the description box. As I stated, I will also do detailed videos to discuss the questions. The cutoff you can see on the screen. The cutoff is not very high, right? So 25 questions from reasoning, 25 marks from English, 50 questions and marks from quant, and 100 marks from professional knowledge. So the cutoff is not very high. It is doable. It is very, very easily crackable. But if you focus well and practice well, you can achieve this. For interview, you have a minimum 50% cutoff that is required. And overall cutoff, if you see, it has actually seen a decreasing trend, right? So it was only 55.5 in 2024. So it is not difficult to pass the cutoff. Just focus on the right syllabus. We are starting our batch on 11th of March with the intro class. I am Prachi Agarwal. I have an MBA in finance with 16 plus years of experience in both corporate credit analysis and teaching, right? So I will see you in the intro class. If you need any more information, you can contact us on the number given or write to us on the email provided. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you get all the updates related to your PNB Credit Officer exam. Thank you.